The cheerful glee that many had expressed on the left when Charlie Kirk had been assassinated had opened many eyes. Some do not want to be associated with a group that believes that silencing their adversary with a bullet is the way to go, that don't want to debate, and suddenly many of us had become orphaned, betrayed. Those who fight for justice maybe weren't fighting for it at all. Leaving the left is a lifelong journey. Believe it or not, you were probably born into communism, and I really genuinely hope you were. The family is the state, the parents, the government, the kids, the citizens. Now, in some structures, I understand that there is also slavery in the family unit, but we're gonna be more optimistic for the moment and say our parents invest in us, not to get anything back, but to make us happy. Siblings who struggle more get more attention from their siblings as well. If your sibling isn't good at math, not only that your parents invest time and money and resources to make sure that sibling gets proper education, you as a sibling do that as well. In a state government citizen analogy, that would mean that you get taxed for being more talented, because the equality in the family is to make sure everyone prospers and everybody is engaged to do that. So our mindset is predispositioned and is already wired to accept communism as the natural order, but it's not. Reality at some point slaps. Some families raise their kids in the hopes that that investment would pay off. Those kids might have a different mentality from those who received unconditional love. Some kids, no matter how much you invest in them, they would never be able to solve a mathematical equation properly. So the family takes care of them. But what about the lazy sibling that doesn't do the work, that doesn't even put in the effort? And you're there making and trying to make him study, take him to psychologist, to the doctor, just to hope that he would succeed. As a sibling, you probably will do what you have to do in order to keep that person at least alive. But we all know that at some point we say enough is enough, and we cannot sustain someone who wouldn't put in the work themselves. And that is true in the family unit. It is much more true when we are talking about strangers. Strangers have way less qualms even to exploit those who they don't know. When the state is faceless, it's not a family unit, but it's just some abstract term that is hard to comprehend. And the government, those are not our parents, but some elites that we cannot relate to. And so we have to adjust, and we start leaving the left. There is no one person, probably, who didn't do some steps towards that process. Some have a different system in mind. You see, some want to enslave their siblings, their parents, for their own benefit, because that is the only way they can ensure that they keep getting what they need to get without putting in the work. Yes, it happens in families, and it definitely happens in states, but it's anonymous, it's more sophisticated, the distance is bigger, so it's veiled. So we take a step each time towards independence. Our parents guide us, it's their job not to be dependent, but to be independent. There are special cases where that dependency never stops. And it's okay, because there are always special circumstances. But it's a family's choice, and each member in the family makes that sacrifice knowingly, out of love. They're not forced, they're choosing it. When you give power to the government to enforce it on individual members in your family, that's a different story. That's scary. And of course, anyone who undermines that meets violence. So we take step and step and step away. We are all born with advantages and disadvantages, even in the same family. If we are honest, there is shallow discrimination even within the family. A parent might like the child that looks more like him, the lighter one, the darker one. Superficial, unfair. It's true. I think those are enough examples because you can see where I'm going with this. The more you dive in, the more you realize how much we can compare the state to the family. But at some point, you become adults. And adults, they don't function like kids anymore. So we're living the left one step at a time. And I want you to understand it's a journey. I live the left every day because it's a brainwashing. It's thinking paradigms. It's our brains that were wired a certain way and needs to be rewired. The more we grow, the more we understand the world, the more we get disappointed. We might start to understand that freedom and opportunities need to be given to all, but it cannot be forced into those who wouldn't take a step forward themselves. The rage and wrath of those who think that somebody owes them something, that they are being treated unfairly, is now at full display. They've been learning all their lives that inherently they deserve more because there are more things that hold them back. But when that child you help with homework becomes a mathematician, when you had chosen a different path, does it still make sense to demand that you tutor them? Boundaries are important. Debate is important. At some point, you need to take responsibility and think if you genuinely want to leave the left. Thinking and thinking and thinking some more is the only way to do so. Leaving the left goes against our natural instincts, goes against our pride, goes against our everything. And if there is one thing our brains really hate doing, is to think. The brain would look for any shortcut they could find. Any. It would turn wars into football, where you just have to choose a team and run with it. They would flatten a map. They would make you think that actually maybe I don't even need to look at the map. But independence, that requires thinking. Thinking is hard. Living the left is a journey, a never-ending journey towards the truth. Yes, I did wear clothes that I don't usually wear, partially because I'm going to Rosh Hashanah dinner soon. So happy Rosh Hashanah. It's not sunset yet, so, not breaking the Sabbath here. I don't know if you guys are worried about it, but for this year, I hope that many of us and many of your family members and your countrymen would wake up and start taking steps towards independence, freedom, and away from the left. May God protect us all. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Happy, happy New Year. I love you all. See you later. And partially so that I would be able to clickbait real, actual leftists and people who think that I've made a video about me leaving the left instead of me never being genuinely on the left to begin with. Yeah, by any means necessary.